Very gentle, smooth, pleasant, to help you understand what you are paying for. The company has been around for 70 years, yet they do not understand what they are doing. Alice, open the window. Alice, open the window, Alice. Close it. Those who have money can afford it. Lord, why is she so big? I mean Russian. I thought everything was invented in Germany. No. What's happening now? It's kind of opening up, right? Guys, I'm going to be fine. Don't worry. Look, it's unreal that I'm opening the door. Can you imagine? I recommend it to everyone. It's an amazing thing. Why was this even invented? This topic is worth quite a bit. Isn't it cool? Hello friends. We continue our series on visiting the largest suppliers and manufacturers in the market of transparent structures. Today, at the numerous requests, we have come to the company Schüco. Schüco is a world-renowned brand of aluminum systems. There is probably not a single person in the market who is unaware of them. They have been in the market for 70 years, since 1951. Since 1997, a representative office has been opened in Russia in 10 major cities. We are currently located in Moscow at the headquarters in Kimki, Business Park Kimki. And now we will go to their showroom, look at all the systems. I will tell you everything and show you. Let's go. Hello friends, this is Stanislav Frenchov, a specialist in client network development at the company Schüco. And now he will give us a tour of the showroom, tell us about the key systems and their advantages, while I will ask some questions along the way.
All right, let's start from the beginning. More and more designers are striving for airiness. I think you may have already noticed the system of steel partitions. This is the so-called steel system, Schüco Jansen. It is called Art. This is precisely an air system that allows for zoning a space, thereby leaving more color and minimizing profiles. Because as you can see, all the profiles have minimal thicknesses.
I noticed that it really resonated with me right away because designers constantly ask for such loft-style partitions. Clients send requests asking, can you make something like this? Or can you do something like that? Because in classic aluminum systems, there isn't anything like this, something really thin and so on. But this is really steel, right?
Yes, this is steel. Moreover, as you can see, there are many options available, starting from the angled design specifically for steel systems, when there is a structural showcase without any.
Oh, so these are different designs here. Yes.
These are different designs. There is even a design where we can see the fastening elements from the inside. So this is also one of the options.
So these are the screws, right? They look quite basic, and the doors accordingly can be there. Guys, the door opens very gently, smoothly, and pleasantly, and it's also very easy. It's really amazing, of course. So feel free to reach out. We will also be making such solutions together with Schüco, our partner. It's a really cool topic.
Another design option, because now everyone is striving to create structures that are, let's say, large, but with a minimal visible width. This is our system of panoramic enclosing structures. Here, the facade system, 35 panorama design and the window structure, 75 panorama design are presented as samples. Everything here is aimed at achieving the minimum visible width of the profiles.
What called AVS 75 panorama design?
They are working on the design of the space.
I've heard that. What is the visible width of the profile specifically for the window?
Here it is 48 me. Yes, 48 me. Additionally, everything here is focused on design. A unique locking mechanism has been developed for this system. This means it features a main reducer, clearly marked as panorama design. Plus, it has its own handle, which completely lacks a socket. Schüco has a unique feature for attraction, where handles are used without sockets, with a large, almost invisible socket, but here the socket is completely absent thanks to the use of this reducer. The window design in this execution is made entirely with the concealed sash, meaning that inside we see a regular sash, but if you look from the outside, it is precisely that airy design we talked about.
Is this considered a hidden leaf?
This is a block system with a completely concealed leaf.
Yes. Guys, in general, look, I will translate a little more into Russian. The classic strictly original facade system has a width of 50 millimeters. Here, a reduced system is presented as a sample called 35 PD. The width of the visible elements, these ones, is 35 millimeters. That is very thin ones, not 50, but 35, vertical 35, horizontal 35. And accordingly, such panoramic and original systems, Schüco has developed a specialized panoramic system, specifically a window system, to match the panoramic effect, so to speak. And here is the 75th panoramic PD. Stanislav, can you tell me the size, maximum height?
standard 2.5.
Tell me, is this 35th facade system, the panoramic one, used often? How popular is it? And maybe there are some nuances there, as far as I know. The fastening of the pressure bar is not with a self-tapping screw, but with a bolt, right?
A completely standard system, there are no issues with recycling this product. Processing companies that use standard 50 series facade systems with a visible width of 50 millimeters, such as AVS 50, can also easily process these systems.
Is it more expensive than the 50s, or is it the same, or at least approximately, give or take?
Yes, it is a bit more expensive.
A bit more expensive because it's exclusive there, so to speak, right?
It is exclusive. As you understand, everything that has the prefix design is still, and mass production, roughly speaking.
Well, for such premium cottages, especially panoramic ones, I highly recommend architects and clients to use them. Those who have the budget can afford great panoramic solutions.
And the standard execution option is the facade system FWS 50 and the standard window construction. It looks like this.
A bit wider, right? Here we have the 50 system, and over there is the 35 system. It's clear that this one is a bit thicker, not as panoramic. The window also has a larger profile, and there's a mosquito net.
Here is a standard window construction, 75 millimeters. We also decided to demonstrate the security system on this sample. Here we present, so to speak, two options for security. This is a pivot lock. By turning the key, we cannot open the structure. We can only tilt it. A children's lock, right? Yes, a classic children's lock. And another element is the system for tilting before turning. That is, when the handle is turned, the first thing that happens is that the leaf tilts. Furthermore, if we definitely lock it, we cannot move the leaf to the open position. We open it, and as soon as we turn the handle upwards, the leaf opens.
Yes, I understand. So, if we switch to the tilt-only mode and remove the key, then the children accordingly will not be able to open it without the key.
Yes.
That's absolutely right. You just need to hand the key over to some maintenance staff. If necessary, clean the window, insert the key, turn it, open it, clean it, and then close it back.
Well, that's the first point. And there's another safety issue. The first thing that happens is the flap tilting. That is, the flap tilts open, and then the child will have to figure out how to close it. They need to turn the handle up to open it.
Yes, I understand.
Such a safety element works in reverse, so to speak. You have windows too, right? This is the so-called explosion scheme. The entire window is shown in disassembled form. This is a leaf for maximum dimensions, which is wider than the standard one. That is, according to the load group. The cross-section of the window structure is fully shown.
Look, people, at what the window is made of. There are so many components missing. Various connectors, rubber corners, hardware, corner switches, reducers, and so on. So you understand what you are paying for.
This is a completely manual assembly, because there is no automation that assembles aluminum structures. The process of processing blanks can be automated, but the final assembly is still carried out by specialists and is done manually. It should be noted that all elements are marked. Each element has the marking of the company Schüco. This allows us to understand during processing in the workshop that all components are original, and of course the same applies to the end consumer, including all the chemical elements necessary for assembling the icon construction.
By the way, we also work with the Schuco system, and we have decided to use the proprietary chemistry from Schuco because it is tested, and Schuco provides a certain guarantee. If you use the complete set and manufacture according to the technical solutions from Schuco, everything will be fine, and Schuco will support you in difficult situations. And these are the concealed hinges, right? As far as I know, you have discontinued the long one-patch regular loops, leaving only the Simply Smart hidden ones.
Standardly, yes. A fully concealed hinge group is typically used. There is an option to use external surface-mounted hinges, but these are, let's say, some exclusive options for openings that cannot be implemented with a concealed hinge group. Some non-standard constructions, angled. Indeed, only for some non-standard applications is suspended hardware used. All standard opening elements utilize a concealed hinge group.
Let me clarify once again. Right now in the market, everyone is choosing whether to install regular hinges or concealed hinges on aluminum windows and PVC windows. The concealed ones are better, but they are more expensive, so they explain the advantages of paying extra. Schuco currently only offers concealed hinges. This is a mass production, meaning it comes with a standard configuration, which includes concealed fittings directly for the window. And believe me, this is not just done for no reason. The company has been around for 70 years, you know. That says something. It means they understand what they are doing. Slav, tell me, is this some kind of gas limiter, right, as I understand it?
Yes, this is a limiting element. In fact, the standard window design has many additional options. We forgot to discuss them, but I will show you. As for the standard options, this is, so to speak, a limiter for opening that allows the leaf to be fixed. The leaf can open to 108 degrees, but it clicks into place. Since there is a facade post present here, but it usually does not bite. This is an element that allows for the protection of both the slopes and the windows.
How does a regular limiter differ from a gas one?
It allows you to fix it in any position. That is, to limit it. If this is limited to 90 degrees of opening, then it can be adjusted to any angle of opening.
And plus it's so smooth and quiet.
Yes, it is recommended for large structures. Additionally, we have this extra element. It is a component that assists in opening and closing the leaf. It is necessary for structures with a heavy weight of the double glazed unit. That's the first point. And secondly, when the handle is installed in a non-standard position, that is, the standard handle is installed in the middle. Accordingly, if we are manufacturing a large structure and installing it somewhere up high, we naturally need to lower the handle. The large structure and handle are installed at the bottom, making the control very inconvenient for us. This element effectively relieves additional pressure from the handle, allowing you to operate it with just one hand. This is a ventilation option. In the tilted turn position, it looks like this. That is, we either completely remove the ventilation and are left with full tilting. Let's say this is the summer option, and here is the winter option, when we do not need a complete tilt. We fix this element at the minimum tilt level.
And if this element, that is, you won't tilt it when it's standing, you won't tilt it completely, right?
That is, you need to open the window and turn it over.
It's just usually, you know, like at a 45-degree angle, you turn the handle and it tilts back a little.
Well, usually, yes, it can be in the same plastic. That's when we catch the options for tilting, but here we don't need to catch anything. In other words, we set it so that this window will operate in ventilation mode. It operates in ventilation mode. There's nothing to catch, no handles to kiss or switch. We simply tilt the sash and it goes into ventilation mode. Got it, got it.
The window 65, 70, 75, 50, 60, 65.
The 50th is cold. Yes, the 50th is cold. The 65th also does not have additional thermal insulation. It comes with a thermal break, but it lacks additional thermal insulation when there are insulators inside the thermal frame. There are also specialized systems. For example, there is the ABC40 system, which was developed specifically for Italy. The climate there is simpler than ours. There is no need to apply any additional measures to the profile systems to ensure thermal performance. There are quite a few systems available to meet any whim, so to speak.
Guys, I had a separate webinar on windows and doors from Schuco. We'll leave you a hint. The link might also be in the description. There, it's specifically about the windows, what systems are used, the size of the thermal bridge, the thermal transmittance resistance of the windows, doors, and sliding systems, which system is warmer, and how much warmer it is. I discussed all of this in detail. Here, we won't delve into all these aspects. Watch the video, subscribe to the channel, by the way, don't forget. Yes, Stanislav, what else can you tell us? It's interesting.
The organ structure, RVS 75. But this is aluminum wood, meaning we...
Lord, why is she so huge?
75th.
How deep is it? It's probably about 150 millimeters.
RVS 75. Well, due to the wooden overlays.
Due to the overlays, yes.
Due to the wooden overlays, this is essentially a standard 75 system.
It's not very standard. It's quite big.
The inner cup is naturally used.
How many cups? 2 or 3, I can't tell. Here is the thermal block, 1 cup, the second cup, and then another. For some reason, this one is so huge, of course.
This is a development by our Russian engineers and designers. But nevertheless, it is present in Russia. This is a purely Russian development.
Was the aluminum wood system invented in Russia?
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
Did you think it was invented in Germany?
No. But why? We are an engineering company.
That is, in principle, they can offer some solutions in different countries. Of course, of course. The agencies accept them, test them, and incorporate them into their lineup.
Yes, yes, yes. That is, if there is interest in this system. Because, well, designers and architects are currently coming up with such unconventional ideas. But it is simply impossible to implement them with standard systems. For specific projects, our designers can develop several types of specialized profiles that will be used, so to speak, exclusively for that project.
Is the wood some kind of treated wood?
Wood is indeed
Russian or some European one.
Initially, of course, all of this was European. Naturally, as this process became more localized, additional requirements were imposed on wooden structures.
Yes, of course. Powerful. Very powerful. It's warm too, it turns out. Inside, it's just wood. I am a big fan of wood. This is definitely a great solution. because aluminum withstands all atmospheric impacts from the outside. The wind and snow, it will stand for 100 years anyway, but the wood is somewhat exposed to all these things on the outside.
Plus, it is, so to speak, an aluminum window in its mass, with all the resulting advantages regarding statics and the clarity of operation, reliability, strength, and everything else. And inside, natural wood is used.
Well, plus, I think purely wooden ones would hardly be that thin. They would most likely be sturdier. Well, the wooden profiles themselves, it wouldn't be possible to do it in a panoramic way, so to speak. Yes, interesting. All right, I understand.
Now we have arrived at the most interesting part. This is the automation of the heart of the window structure, which is filled not only with mechanics but also with electronics.
Tiptronic automation, right?
Yes. It's called the Simple Smart Tiptronic. In fact, it looks like this. It's special. A handle is installed that allows us to open the window structure. Moreover, this window structure can operate in two modes. I would say there is a daytime opening mode where it opens and closes quickly, and a nighttime closing mode, slowly but quietly. There are two options for operation. The first option operates at 5 millimeters per second. This is a quiet opening option. It is quiet and slow. The second option operates at 20 millimeters per second. This is fast, but it is louder.
If the house is equipped with temperature and humidity sensors and such, it will automatically ventilate and open.
Good evening. They will tell you about the fuel window there. The system is fully adjustable for automation. Everything you want to do with it, even adapting to Russian realities, one of the companies has linked this opening system to the Alice station. The room says, Alice, open the window, Alice, open the window, close. In other words, it works. Here is an open protocol for programming for smart home systems. It's KNX. If you are going to hire professionals, or if you are planning to incorporate some automation, or additional elements into your home, or if you want this window structure to fit into the overall concept of your smart home, please make sure to address all of this during the design phase. Everything can be integrated and done without any problems. This is a freestanding window structure that allows for opening and closing from the handle. In other words, the automation only pertains to tilting. If we want to open it, we do so manually.
Can it be controlled with a handle, or can it be operated without a handle, using some button?
Yes, it can be operated with a handle or without a handle. Furthermore, this is a standard window construction.
Is it somehow rising or what? What's happening right now? Is it somehow moving away?
It opens. The locking elements. It just clicks into place. It fits into the response strips.
I thought that when you turn the handle down, it simply activates the hardware pulls. But that's not the case here. It's actually the automatic mode that provides this.
No, just like that. Everything is in the corresponding brackets.
But not the handles of the pullers, they move by themselves.
Of course, everything is automated.
Listen, this is great because the handle moves very easily. In a standard system, you have to apply a bit of effort to the handle to lock all the latches. But here it's just elementary. You just push it, and it releases, allowing you to open it very easily. Then there, I calmly lowered it and it pressed along the perimeter. Yes, I understand. But this, accordingly, involves a bunch of different control modules.
Yes, this is the brain of the system. A standard power supply that powers the window structure. And then the most interesting part, here they are, let's say, all the main brains of the smart home. This is the automation block with its own power supply. Well, there is also a protocol that allows for programming specific actions for the window structure. This scheme is also necessary to transfer the controls of the window structure to the wall or to some additional location. That is, we can control it from the handle and we can move the control elements somewhere else to create additional space for convenience. Also, now I will stop it. We also have the sensors you mentioned, special sensors. This is an air sensor, a wind strength sensor, a temperature sensor, and a humidity sensor. That is, when triggered, when setting up, when some of the elements are activated, this structure can receive a signal and close. We have now activated the wind strength sensor, and the structure understood that the wind was strong and needed to close.
This can be used by integrating it into the supply ventilation system. They say that the supply is ensured by this window automation. Theoretically, it can probably be done this way.
It can be done without any problems. There are sensors, and there is a presence sensor. That is, the system understands how the presence sensor works. This, roughly speaking, works in reverse, not how we are used to. That is, the system scans the room, and if there is no movement in the room, it opens for ventilation after a while. If measuring the temperature, then it allows for this. because this entire system is completely tied to ensuring comfort in the room for convenience, so that people do not get tired. For example, all of this can be linked, and it is linked, with the carbon dioxide sensor. Everything is fine in the room currently, but if the levels of carbon dioxide increase, the system will automatically open for ventilation.
And this is a touch screen. It is possible to control it from there, right? Just like a smart home.
Yes, Shock and Smart Touch. There is a camera in the door. With the camera in the door, we can open the door.
Why a camera? Is it for the front door?
The front door, yes.
Is this a ventilation flap?
Yes, this is a ventilation flap. Right now, everyone wants more light in the room. The flaps, as you can see, take up additional glazing area. There is this special element. Ventilation flap. This means we can create a large solid field nearby, thereby increasing the area of glass, increasing the amount of light in the room, and simply place a ventilation flap next to it that will open when necessary to provide a flow of fresh air.
Well, in general, it's about 200-230 millimeter.
Depending on the required airflow, different widths can be chosen.
This is not a double glazed window, it's a solid piece of profile. The ventilation flap is not very wide, and it precisely ensures, from a design perspective, not to integrate the windows and not to spoil them. Here is the panoramic one, and here is a non-transparent strip.
From the outside, the ventilation flap looks like this. It does not spoil the design. And here, there can be a completely glass solid panel. By opening this ventilation flap, we ensure ventilation inside the room.
This is a balcony flap, so-called window flap, when it goes down to the floor, leading to the balcony and so on. And here there is even a railing. Glass. What are these systems called? For safety railings, Stanislav.
This system is called fall protection, or simply a protective barrier. It is a transparent element that provides the necessary safety. Due to the fact that this element can be made entirely of glass, the glass is triplex. It will not stand out in any way and will not interfere, so to speak, with the architecture of the building.
So we can skip this, right? The top is aluminum, just a glass triplex.
Yes, it can be made half glass.
Well, these are aluminum profiles that are screwed on the sides and then tempered triplex glass is inserted here. And in general, this serves as a barrier from the outside, especially from a distance, and you can't tell that there is any glass there. If it is made as transparent as possible, chemically brightened, so to speak, it will be absolutely amazing.
Another element of the window structure is the steel window. The advantage here is that it allows for the creation of designs with narrower frames, while still being able to achieve sufficiently large sizes. So here we have, roughly speaking, a standard window system that allows for, moreover, it is thermally insulated, making it warm. It can be installed as an external enclosing structure. This is what the system looks like.
Well, in general, if panoramic views are needed, then there are very small profiles, and at the same time large-size flaps, so the Jansen steel systems are the perfect solution. As I understand it, they are mainly used in cases where aluminum systems cannot be afforded.
Yes, steel systems have their own niche. Everything is aimed at increasing dimensions while reducing the visible width of the profile systems.
Is the hardware here standard Advantage or something special?
No, it's a proprietary hardware system.
What is the maximum weight on the hinges? Is it more than on aluminum?
More, 250 kilo, aluminum 150 here, 250.
With aluminum 150, yes, then somewhere 250 maybe.
Yes, we are talking about the standard version, and when additional special functions are added to window structures, this can naturally be expanded. Both the weight of the fittings can be expected to be greater, and the dimensions of the structure can also be anticipated to be larger. In other words, everything is, so to speak, specific to each individual object. We will be working through the elements that our designers and architects have laid out, and they are truly necessary for this project.
Well, Stanislav means that if there is a non-standard solution, perhaps if there is some non-standard solution, then Schuco is ready to develop some special solutions and the possibilities to implement a non-standard situation as well.
Another element of the window structure is the window system, a component for opening that is concealed within the facade brackets.
Oh, that's cool. It's called the CV60 system.
It is precisely the limit switch of the opening element that we had in the explosion diagram. And again, once more, an element that unloads heavy flaps.
Guys, the key advantage of this system, the key one, is that the width outside is 60 millimeters. In contrast, a standard original drainage system with a window installed in it has a width of 50 millimeter everywhere, and where the window is, a frame profile and a sash are added. In this solution, you have a width of 60 millimeters, regardless of whether it's the blind part or the window part. Everywhere it's 60 millimeters, making it completely unclear where the window is, and this is its key advantage. That is, in a width of 60 millimeter, in this case where the flap is located, both the supporting post and the flap itself are accommodated. I will close it now, and you will see that 60 millimeter will remain outside, and it won't even be clear that there is a flap here. Isn't it cool? These are really amazing solutions. I highly recommend applying them in private cottages, especially where there is panoramic glazing and you need to integrate some opening elements, but at the same time, you want to maintain that panoramic effect and have glass everywhere. This is a very good solution.
Yes, considering that this is, so to speak, a semi-facade system, it is still a window structure, and this window structure possesses all the possibilities for opening.
Ventilation, yes.
That is both pivot opening and a lifting element for opening. Flaps with a height of 2.5 millimeters can be made up to 500 millimeters, but again, as we discussed, upon special request, if wind loads in the corner zone of the installation region allow, an opening element can be made in the catalog version, but upon special request, it can be made with a height of up to 3010 millimeter.
In general, you should understand that if you have a distance from floor to ceiling, say on the first floor or the second floor, with a height greater than 3200, like 3.5 or 4 meters, it won't be possible to make a flap that reaches the full height. In other words, a 4-meter flap won't work. You will still have to cut it down. It will be a panoramic solution in any case, and will not be as visible as a regular standard flap.
Another option for opening a window structure, which is again combined with facade systems, is the ABC 114 window. The window design features an outward opening mechanism, either as a fully hinged window or a top-hung window.
By top hung, you mean like this, right? It tilts outward from the top like this.
This window design has a technical feature that allows for an opening element of up to 3.6 millimeter in size. Here we can achieve such sizes due to the use of hardware. Tektronic. If we are doing manual opening, there are limitations. The manual opening has a height limit of 200 millimeters, if I remember correctly. However, with Tektronic hardware, it is possible to create a sufficiently large element that can open, as I mentioned.
Yes guys, this is the 114 series, which can be made in a structural execution, i.e. when the outer glass has a notch and overlaps the profile. It can be a maximum height of 3600 and it can be made to the full height of the floor. If a smaller window is needed and it should not stand out, it can be made structural, so it will look like glass, 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 and I will understand that there is a profile behind it. And this is exactly what has been done here. Structural execution. In general, this is how it looks from the outside. This black line is the glass, and all of this is glass. Where the profile is, the glass is simply painted over, so from the outside it looks completely seamless, meaning it's not clear that there is a profile. Everything appears to be glass. But here, as you can see, there are these mesh screens, and they are needed to prevent anyone from putting their fingers in here, because there is a mechanism, like scissors, that holds this profile, scissor-like mechanisms, and to ensure that hands don't get caught, they even made these mesh screens. But it can be not only automatic opening, there can also be manual opening. If it is parallel to the main one, there are small handles on the sides, and you simply push it out. If it is top hung, it can be automatic, or it can have a handle at the bottom. But of course, if it goes to the floor, then there is no point in making it top hung. This is if you have, for example, a beam passing through here, with fixed glazing at the bottom and a sash at the top. Then you can place the handle at hand level and not make it operable. Just push it open.
This is the virtual showroom, and this is also the virtual workshop. In other words, one can learn to assemble window structures in the virtual workshop. Alternatively, you can walk through the cottage or office building and see how the window structures work.
Super! These are some kind of space technologies. So wait, let me get this straight. Does this thing allow you to see the window live? I mean in virtual reality? Can you actually open it or not?
Yes.
Or just take a look?
No, why not? You can use the window structure.
Well, show me something.
Well, these are the 2 tables for training. There is a set of tools here. The elements are taken one by one and assembled at the end.
Is this a production process in 3D? Cool.
So you can take it and spin it, put it there carefully. Be careful, don't break it. Gently.
Leonia, this is just unreal. Some kind of cool stuff, sealant. And there are some machines here, like corner presses, I don't know.
Yes, there are machines there. Now we will move over there. You can walk around and take a look at the machines.
Wait, I think I was there. Is that not your warehouse in Moscow? No, it's not Solneknogorsk.
This is one of the workshops in Bielefeld. In addition to the machines, There is also an audio laboratory and an acoustic laboratory, all the delights of which can be appreciated by connecting headphones to the headset. Here, there are several.
And they directly reflect real sound insulation and real constructions.
Yes, you can simulate the noise of any of the objects presented here on that column. You can't hear it now, but there is a significant difference between when the structure is closed and when it is open. Well, that's...
In general, it really opens up. It's just incredibly cool. This means that a client who comes here can actually model in real life how they move things around. Just don't say that there's a strain on the hand with how much force he opens it.
Yes, it's quite heavy. It needs to be adjusted.
Visually speaking, it is ideal to connect headphones, as this is already simulated quite realistically.
And will there be a sound of the movement of the sashes?
The shutters move very quietly and silently, and the sound absorption effect of these structures is effectively simulated.
And you can directly insert different shapes of the package or different structures, and see, this one has more sound insulation, this one has less, and change it somehow, right?
This can be done, but here it is specifically demonstrated in detail using one of the structures as an example.
As I understand it, these are standard solutions, but if it's a large project or a big facility, you can model the solution specifically for that object. The client comes in, and you can walk around and look at the virtual solutions for that specific object, right? Yes, that's real. These are modern technologies, meaning that if before they used to create so-called mock-ups, well, they still do that now, especially for large projects like, I don't know, 100,000 square meters of glazing. They would create exhibition samples right on the site, like a piece of the facade, roughly speaking. They create this structure, and the client walks around and looks at it. So now, this is a preliminary stage. Before making this mock-up, the client can come to the Schüco company, and they will model his solution, his object for him. He will come, take a look, the designer, the architect, to see what they like, what they don't like, what profiles are there, and so on. This is very detailed, of course, cool technologies. Guys, I will be fine, don't worry. So, where are these hands of mine? Laziness. And I see it as hands, as if I... Listen, this is just unreal. I've never been in such virtual realities before. So here's the box. 1. Oh, I approached the door. So can I just grab the handle? It's just unreal. I opened the door, can you imagine? It's like some kind of space, very cool. I can walk around and observe everything here, Moscow City and all that. I can approach the glazing and see how it will look in real life. Whether I like the glazing or not, I don't know. Touch it, open it. The folding systems are really cool, but I don't know. These things are generally expensive to develop. Not cheap, but it's impressive. Has this been around for a long time at Schuco? Such solutions. It's really cool. So you need to close the door. Click. Well, that's it. I really like it. I recommend it to everyone, especially for those with larger objects. Well, it's clear that if you're ordering a Schuco window, there's no point in coming here to set up virtual reality, but if you have a more serious project, like a large cottage, then coming here to choose a system makes sense. Everyone will recommend it to you. You can see it in person, move it around, open it, and somewhat model yourself in the space, how you will use it, how you will open that handle, and walk through that room. I want to go there on foot. It's really cool. That's it, thank you. Where's the table? I'm lost in virtual reality. Where are you? Come on, stabilize yourself. I've stabilized. Alright, I'm returning to our world. We recommend it to everyone. It's an awesome thing. I have never been in virtual reality before. I imagine that there are probably games where you can play war. Here, seriously, yes, you can. On the African slides. So, are you fighting here or what? I don't understand. Are you working or playing war games? In fact, you can do all sorts of things with it.
A very broad view, indeed. In fact, a very, very interesting tool for which there is a future.
Well, I understand, yes, that these are the technologies of the future, really. I got it. Stanislav, thank you. Thank you. Tell me, what else do you have that is interesting?
Handles, yes, probably.
Window handles?
Let's go to the window handles. Window handles. Standard execution and standard color range.
What colors are there?
White, flamingo bone, black, natural steel, imitation steel, and natural aluminum.
It is important that Schuco handles are not painted. meaning you must choose a handle from the standard colors. But we often have either black or actually stainless steel. So here, Stanislav is right in saying that this is a paint that mimics stainless steel, while this is real stainless steel. And we currently have a project in progress where the client specifically purchased stainless steel handles from Schuco with Schuco systems. I will show it live, but they are really great, of course. It feels very solid. You can really feel the steel in your hand. And there are also different design options. This is a standard handle, but there is also a round one.
There are special solutions. There is a handle with a key. And there is the so-called vandal-proof handle.
I thought it was trimmed. Is this how it is?
Yes, this is an anti-modal handle. Well, if we take a standard handle, we get a lever that can be applied to something. Let's say to the violence of a cocoon structure. Here, due to the incomplete grip, there is no possibility of slightly damaging the cocoon structure through mechanical impact.
So it can be opened, but it's a bit heavier than usual.
Yes, a bit heavier. That means you won't be able to apply excessive force to avoid breaking the window structure. Lord, where do they install such things?
In prisons, perhaps.
As for the doors?
Wow, this is really powerful.
Power, yes.
These are the panels.
Doors, panels. It's called the residential line. It is available in the 75 system and the 90 system. If you look at the cross-section, it looks like this.
Yes, but this is a deco, right? The panels, as I understood.
No, this is a handle, our range, meaning that this handle has an article number. It can also be painted in any color, equipped with backlighting plus protection. This is how it works. If we make an opaque filling, we have two aluminum sheets, an outer sheet of 3 mm and an inner sheet of 2 mm, plus a designer handle that is convenient to use.
Yes, thermal break, super warm.
Yes, this is already a new system that is basically available on the market. What is it called? ADAP, the Aluminium Door Universal Platform System. This will be a new system applicable from 1975 to 1990. Before the Universal Platform, or yes, this is a new system applicable for 75 to 90.
Well, you can do it with this one, or you can use a regular system. But here you can see that there are no frames or sashes. It's a single panel. It has a hidden handle that runs the full height with backlighting. Well, it looks, I must tell you, just incredibly cool. And here, of course, is your panel, the automatic one.
The DKS system is called the Door Control System.
Please tell me, what can be integrated here into this panel? What solutions?
This panel can be installed both on the frame and inside the sash.
So it can be here, and somewhere right on the sash.
Yes, this is an additional module. It can be made of glass. It can be made of aluminum. Plus, there are various filling elements. You can equip it with anything, meaning this will be an additional chamber. And here the chamber is already built in. Here is such an element. A separate camera, a separate microphone, a separate fingerprint scanner, a separate code lock, a separate number, and apartment numbers are inserted. A separate backlight is installed. So this is really about something like that.
Hey, what about this keyless access? Can you explain? There are some people listed here, right? So it's like, if it's a private house for family members, or how does that work? Oh, are we calling? Basically, what is this thing for? I can't understand. Can these people receive a call? Why was this invented? Is it for office spaces?
No, not only for office spaces. For office spaces, what you saw at the entrance to our office, where you can input up to 5,000 numbers, is still a more standard solution. Plus, it is more aesthetically pleasing for private clients. Here, phone numbers are entered, meaning it is completely connected to the phone via the internet, and you can call the person you have come to see.
And will he get a call?
Yes.
And he will open the door via his phone?
Yes. Will there be an application? Yes, there will be an application. He can check it from his phone. The camera turns on, the microphone turns on, and he can talk to the person with it. For example, you invited Artem Volkov at 12 o'clock, but you arrived at Mondaons. And Artem came, the phone number is saved here, he presses it, and I look at the phone and talk, and I make a decision. I can trust this person. Let him into the house.
Hey, how does that person who is listed here as the receiver come in? Does he use his phone there as a card or a fingerprint? Or does he unlock the door with his phone?
It opens with a phone and can be configured with Bluetooth enabled. When approaching a certain radius, the door recognizes that a person with a trusted Bluetooth device is nearby, and it activates. You can also open it with a tag, you can open it with a fingerprint scanner, a code lock, any whim that has been invented.
If we try to model for a private house, we can sort of include family members. Family members have an app with these applications on their phones, and there may be some separate tag there. And they Roughly speaking, he approaches the door. There is no need to press anything. The door opens immediately. For the one who is registered here, for the owner, it recognizes him. Well, and people who are outsiders can either call and the owner opens, or they can be brought in here, for example, some service personnel of that kind, with their fingerprint entered into the database.
Well, the fingerprint is limited there. You can only have 99 fingerprints.
Well, for a private house, 99 should be enough, I think. And accordingly, if you enter the code, you can switch to the code lock mode and input this code.
Now, wait a moment, please. Let's...
$263,445 is always the key. $263,445. Why are they in different tones? Is it on purpose? Is this some kind of protection against robots? I opened up. Wow. So this is a closing mechanism with fixation, right? With fixation. In general, a hidden closing mechanism, mortise, with the possibility of fixation, a stainless steel push handle, a multi-point lock, which is specifically an electromechanical lock. Right.
Apparently, it is inherently mechanical. However, this electromechanical lock is good because it can be equipped at any moment. In other words, it is installed additionally, exaggerating to make it easy to explain. Roughly speaking, a motor unit is connected to the electromechanical lock. This is an additional item. Again, simplifying and exaggerating. From this motor unit, there are roughly 2 wires that you decide how to send the signal, how to close this contact, so that the door opens.
Listen, as I understand it, you can also do it without a key from the outside. If you don't want to use a key, it's like an additional manual way to lock it if needed. You can do without it.
Yes, this is one of the protections. That is, if you do not have key access, you will need to install some kind of battery or uninterruptible power supply, or something in case of a power outage.
When the power is restored, is it locked or does it become unlocked?
It is closed.
That is, if the electricity is turned off and the door is closed, it cannot be opened. You can either open it mechanically or you need to install some kind of uninterruptible power supply.
Additionally, this lock is good because it provides extra security. When it closes, it additionally shoots out, extending its locking mechanisms. These are standard, and when closed, they shoot out.
So it's more complicated, right? Specifically for breaking in. And look, here we have hidden hinges. Hidden mortise hinges are installed. And this, as I understand it, is a connector for the wire, right?
Yes, this is a cable channel.
Is there a special reason for having so many wires here? Or did they just hang them up? I think one is enough. Why 3?
So many wires. Different wires for different components to avoid getting tangled.
They may not even fit in one cable channel, yes, if there are many wires, so they are brought out separately. Thus, there are also 4 hidden hinges. So, there is also a panel on the outside. The door looks like this. And here is the push handle. Oh, I mean not on the outside, but inside. I made a mistake. Here is the push handle, and here is a hidden one. So, from the inside, you don't need to use anything. You just push the handle and exit. Nothing gets in the way.
And you also don't need to close it. That is, when you go in, the door closes behind you, and that's it. No one else can get in.
Yes, I understand. So it's not necessary to install a concealed mortise handle, right? You can put any regular one, stainless steel or whatever you want, right?
Anyone. Now we will further demonstrate on another door with transparent filling. But this door, it is specifically from the residential line, and it is not transparent, as I mentioned before. They like to create large solid fields in window constructions and install a ventilation flap. And also in general, large solid panels and opaque doors are often placed next to entrance groups. It looks very luxurious.
Well, this is the main door to the house, of course. That's exactly what it's for. It looks really cool. There's no need to buy or order any steel doors. There are awesome solutions with all the built-in automation. You can have everything you want here.
So is all of this from one supplier?
Yes, I understand. All right. Thank you.
Well, and the next door? Let's say it's a more standard design.
It's cheaper, so to speak, because that topic costs quite a bit. I've already encountered it.
Well, I wouldn't do it that way.
For each wallet, let's say.
Well, quite so. It could be that way. And this is, so to speak, a standard execution of doors. This is a door with transparent filling. The most popular solution for the hinge group is steel-colored roller hinges. Plus, again, you see the organized way of opening. The handle on the outside is a bar handle, again in a steel color. And when we enter the room, we can simply slam the door shut behind us. The closing mechanism is installed here. The door closes. and that's it. From the outside, you can only enter the room with a key, but from the inside, we can exit by just pressing the handle, and we can leave without any worries.
Could you please tell me, are these roller hinges made of stainless steel?
Just stainless.
Some are made of stainless steel, and other types.
There are options made of stainless steel and steel imitation.
What colors are available if it's not stainless steel, but regular? Black, probably.
Black, white stainless steel, yes. So, like the handles approximately, yes, plus or minus it repeats, the handle color scheme. Here, it is still possible to make the door with a standard height of 3 meters. An electromechanical lock with additional locking points is also installed here. This is both about security and, let's say, thermal engineering, because better pressure is achieved at the entrance door.
Here we are specifically talking about controlling this electromechanical lock with a key. There are options where you have a push-button handle and you can lift it up to extend the lock, or you can use a key. Several options are available. Yes, I understand. And here you can see the corners. These are classic hinges, not roller hinges.
Yes, classic ones. This is already the third type of hinges. So, we have seen hidden hinges, roller hinges, and the so-called surface-mounted sectional hinges.
We always explain to our clients not to use regular hinges. At the very least, use roller hinges or hidden hinges. Just compare how they look. I believe this is certainly not suitable for a private house. Perhaps it could be used in some commercial properties, right? Like the entrance to a store or a business center. Even then, it seems to me that these hidden hinges are very rarely used by Schüco. Rollers are the most popular. Mainly, they are roller or hidden. Well, because they look good, it's nice.
Well, since the weight is the same, that both the roller hinge and the sectional hinge can bear, there are no problems. Roller hinges look more aesthetically pleasing. They have a design that runs along, so to speak, the junction of the frame and the door leaf, and it looks quite aesthetic.
We have door systems just like window systems. The window system is AVS. The door systems are ADS. In general, the door systems are the same as the window systems, ADS 70, ADS 75, and so on. What is the first one?
This is a sliding lift and slide structure. Moreover, I am not mistaken. It is both a sliding and a lift and slide structure. For one simple reason, the necessary functionality can be implemented as either a sliding system or a lift and slide system. In a folding system, in a folding sliding system. For zoning the room, meaning we do not require such 100% ceiling, so to speak, and it is sufficient for the leaves to simply slide. If we are simply making a sliding system, then we are changing the seal from a regular one to a felt seal. And accordingly, the ceiling in this form disappears, as in one sliding structure. If we need a warm structure, it looks like this. We lower the handle. The leaf rises. Thereby, the seals disengage from the catches at the top and bottom, and the leaf can be shifted. The sashes may typically vary depending on the number of guides.
Several.
Yes, several, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is also a large structure, meaning that in principle it is possible to create structures of larger sizes.
So you have new systems out now, right? ISE 50 and ISE 80, correct?
Yes, it is also a modular system that uses universal components. This system is called the ISS aluminium sliding system, while the new system is called the ISE aluminium sliding element. That is, these are precisely the 60 series systems with simpler thermal insulation, the 80 series with, let's say, more advanced thermal insulation, but the systems functionally replace each other, meaning that there is no need for a mass of separate components for an individual system. They are interchangeable.
In general, I have already implemented a project with the SE80HE system, and soon there will be a shoot from this project as well. It features a huge structure, 3.5 meters tall, no, 2.5 meters in height, and 3 meters in width, with such large sashes. I will show you everything and explain how it works. In fact, the system is very ultra-modern, very warm, and it moves very smoothly, without any noise. And the SE80HI or 60HI systems, which are slightly lower in thermal performance, are designated in the same way as Windows, with hidden Tiptronic automation systems, and you can accordingly shift any sashes using a phone, a button, or any sensors. And in general, this is the advantage. In fact, it is currently one of the warmest, probably even the most modern system on the market. C83 was released just a couple of years ago, and we are actively offering it to all our clients now, because its thermal transmittance resistance is similar to that of a window, closer to 1. This is a very good parameter because previously sliding systems were still colder than windows. Now there is a new generation of sliding systems. They are really very cool. It's like space. I like it.
Yes, well, if we set aside automation, overhead automation is still used more often than in sliding structures. However, there is a fundamental difference for sliding structures. If we take standard sashes, we can, in general, usually equipped with mechanical hardware for weights up to 500 kilograms. If the weight exceeds 500 kilograms, the Tektronic system must be used automatically. This means that in Tektronic, the sash can support up to 600 kilograms. But if we use mechanical hardware, additional elements are also used here, such as convenience features, so to speak, like the smart close system, which involves installing a special closer that catches the sash. It's about convenience in handling, so to speak, and safety, because with a sash weighing 400-500 kilograms, you can imagine what happens if the sash rolls and no one catches it.
One can endure hay so foolishly that the plaster will crumble, or it might even hit someone.
Well, let's not give in to confusion, so to speak, because the system itself can potentially damage itself.
Yes, I also have the smart close system installed on my project, specifically the SE80HI. It is installed at the top, and when you push the sash, a spring mechanism engages, which essentially brings the sash to a close. Yes, it brings the sash down, and then you just need to lift the handle to lower the sash onto the frame, and all the seals are pressed in.
The seals are sealed at the top and bottom.
This ensures airtightness. That is, you turn the handle, and it rises. You lift the handle, and it lowers. The handles, look, these are stainless steel. They are specifically designed to be large, so that there is leverage, making it easy to open.
The word translates to lever, indeed. This means that the larger the handle we have, the easier it is to operate.
Here, these systems are also in fact equipped with such a damper. When the sash is lowered, it operates very gently so that the handle does not hit you.
Yes, an additional element, that's correct, is already necessary when installing a heavy double-glazed unit when the sashes exceed 300 kg. It becomes practical to install elements that allow us to handle our sash with just one finger, both to open and close it. For a description of the elements that relieve this handle and those that slow down this handle, these are also considered as additional elements.
The most important thing to understand here is that on these systems the sash has a visible width of about 100 millimeters, and it runs along the perimeter. Each sash has a certain casing made of profile. It is very important to understand this because when customers choose sliding glazing, especially in cottage-style homes, they often desire panoramic views. However, when traditional sliding systems are installed, they can somewhat clash with the design due to the amount of profile used. But there are panoramic systems available, ASS77 PD. It is panoramic, where these vertical profiles are minimal, with a visible width of 35 millimeters if I'm not mistaken. There is no profile at the bottom or top at all. The frame is completely recessed into the floor. The clean floor is brought in, and the double glazed unit completely disappears into the floor, thus creating a panoramic sliding structure. And if there is a facade, a sliding facade, followed by a panoramic sliding system, then visually it does not stand out and does not disrupt the architectural design. It creates a kind of overall cool panoramic effect. This S777PD is also equipped with hidden automation, which is located inside the profile in the frame, and it moves this sash. But unfortunately, you don't have the ACC77PD in the office, specifically the large sample right.
No sample, no.
But we have a project, so we will soon have a video where I will show exactly how the ASS77PD moves, what it looks like, and what its advantages are. And I will tell you all about it in great detail. In general, stay tuned for the upcoming episodes because there will be information on ASS, SE80HI, and AS77PD. We will explain everything in detail and show you. You will also be able to immerse yourself a little in the world of aluminum instructions. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to support us and our project. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and stay tuned for the upcoming episodes. There will be some really cool content. Bye everyone.